scares you most about your future?
Maybe not fulfilling a lot of other people's dreams.
The phenomenon is taken over.
I had the poise to handle any circumstance.
One of the great performances of all time.
Adversity.
What a tough defeat for LeBron. Top 4, top 5.
Pressure.
The Miami Heat have won the title.
This is what it's all about right here.
My city, I love you. I'm back.
Cleveland, this is for you.
I think it was a God-given ability, but that only takes you so far.
And I want my damn respect, too.
LeBron for the Lakers.
To try to play at a high level is very taxing. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of long hours. But if you love the game and you love the process and you love being great, then you don't mind.
We start NBA Today with breaking news from this morning. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year deal that includes a player option in year 2 to remain with the Lakers. Woj, this was not the full 3-year contract that was available to LeBron and the Lakers. So how did they arrive here?
Malika, LeBron James with essentially a 1+1 deal. It also includes a no-trade clause. Only Bradley Beal has one in the NBA, but essentially puts LeBron James right back here next year with the ability to decline his option and either make more money by doing an additional a new contract, probably another 1+1, or if the Lakers are in the same position they are now and there's a player at the mid-level exception that they think they could get, LeBron James could take less next year and help out the Lakers' salary cap situation. Just gives him flexibility, gives the team flexibility either way. But LeBron James under contract for his 22nd season in the NBA. And if he's going to be traded, he'll have the right to make a decision on that.
LeBron James under contract here, Woj. His son, Bronny James, signing his contract today. So we are officially going to see the first father-son duo in the NBA. Please stick around. We'll be back with you in just a minute. I want to bring in the rest of our panel today. Chiney Ogwumike, Mark Spears, Kendrick Perkins will be joining us in just a little bit. But, Mark, I want to start with you here. Were you surprised that LeBron signed a 1+1 deal with a player option instead of that 3-year max?
It's brilliant. Not surprised at all. Extremely brilliant. But he did something different. Like the Nuggets, Hawks, Lakers, Kings, Heat, Bulls, and Warriors all have kids that are part of the front office. George Karl, Doc Rivers, Bernie Bickerstaff, Nate McMillan, Don Nelson, Flip Saunders, all their sons have gotten into coaching. This is the first time we've seen a player be able to use his presence to help his son get into the NBA. He has a 1+1 year deal, but his son signed a 4-year deal. For a player, an African-American player, to be able to do that, I think is brilliant. The runway his son has now to use these 4 years to prove that he's an NBA player long-term. By the end of those 4 years then, with the Lakers tutelage, I think he'll turn himself into a quality NBA player. So for him to be able to use his power to do that, I think is pretty legendary.
And I know we're talking a lot. First of all, I love your glasses. I'm looking at you and I'm admiring the blue.
Okay.
I know we're talking about, particularly Bronny's experience with the Lakers. I think it's interesting when you hear this deal. I think of the final countdown. Okay, I'm not good. Hey, he didn't let me down there.
Okay.
Really, for LeBron James, the fact that he has a choice how he wants to end and potentially based off of signing, alongside Bronny, that is interesting. But it also reminds me of Bryce, too, because I don't know if you saw it on the interwebs. Bryce was like, when people are talking about potentially me playing with my dad having 2 sons, he's like, he's going to be 42. Right. He's going to be 42 at that point, and that's why you see the 1 by 1. Because I do think that we are at the final chapter, and it's going to be fascinating to see where he lets things go.
And certainly sentiment plays a piece in all of this, but we're talking about LeBron James.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about LeBron James, he's synonymous with winning and trying to put a team together around him that is going to be able to do that. The Lakers finished 7th in the Western Conference last year after going through the play-in. They only were able to win 1 playoff game. That's not the bar that LeBron James has grown accustomed to and the type of team that he generally wants to play on. So by taking that 1+1, not necessarily the 3 years that we talked about, Woj mentioned maybe looking at that mid-level next year, Mark. How much of a focus does this put on Rob Pelinka, the front office, to continue to tinker and make some moves here?
Pressure's on Rob. He knows it. But here's the thing. We get so enamored with, free agency started. You got to sign this guy. What about this guy? He's up. Are they going to make this trade? When did Damian Lillard get moved? When did Drew Holiday get moved? when did James Harden get moved from Houston to Brooklyn?
Yep.
There's a lot of time left before they play a game.
Sure.
So I think the pressure's on Rob, but the Lakers fans all should have some patience.
Well, Kendrick Perkins, I'm not sure the P in Perkins stands for patience, but I'd like to get your thoughts here, both on the deal LeBron signed and then what this means for the Lakers in terms of how they're going to approach the rest of their summer here, sir.
Well, I think it starts with, Bron signing the 1+1. I'm like, damn, okay, so he's not committing to the 3-year deal. And I think, it's coming close to the end, right? LeBron, he's taking it year by year. We know how much he invests in his body, right? We get all that, but at some point, his body is going to start talking to him, and at some point, he's going to walk away from the game, and we're not going to be able to witness his greatness. And I think it could possibly be next year, to be honest with you. But this has Rob Pelinka written all over it, because even though it's a 1+1, it's a max 1+1. And so LeBron gave him an opportunity to go out there and do what's best. And we all know LeBron, the reports were out there that he wanted Klay Thompson, right? And if he wanted Klay Thompson and he was willing to make a pay cut, and obviously you had to do a sign and trade, why didn't you get the deal done? And the reason that they didn't get the deal done is because Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss in the front office of the Lakers, they're holding on to one individual that everybody wants, and that's Austin Reeves. And until they're ready to part with Austin Reeves, right, and upgrade the roster and get a upgrade, which I think Klay Thompson is an upgrade when you put him alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James, then I feel like the Lakers are still going to be in this spot. And it's not a bad spot, right? They're still a top 5 team right now in the Western Conference, in my opinion. But top 5 is not good enough for LeBron James. He wants to be number 1. Anytime you have him, he wants to win a championship.
Dave McMenamin, our NBA reporter who covers the Lakers. So what does LeBron agreeing to a 1+1, Dave, instead of this full 3 years signal to you?
Like, it signals to me that this could very well be the last contract that LeBron James signs in his storied NBA career. It's been a point of pride for him and his representative, Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, that his entire career he's played out every contract that he signs. There's never been a time where he's asked for a trade to a team. There's never been a time he's been traded from a team he was on. And so every time he put his pen to paper, the terms of that contract were delivered by him as a player. Now, if he was to sign a 2+1 or a 3-year deal, maybe he had some doubt in his mind whether he'd be able to fulfill that contract. This puts him in a situation to play 1 or 2 more years, perhaps get that kind of numerology of number 23 playing 23 seasons in the league, the most ever, I would remind you. Right now, 22 will tie him with Vince Carter, and be a way to kind of ride off into the sunset. But again, I have to emphasize here, LeBron James, certainly it's been an amazing occurrence to have the chance to play alongside his son, Bronny James, but he still wants the Lakers to be exploring every avenue to get better so they can be as competitive as possible next year.
You mentioned Bronny, Dave. You also reported today that he agreed to a 4-year deal with the Lakers. What should we know about how that contract looks?
All right, first of all, let's have a brief history lesson here, Malika. Last year, number 57 pick in the second round, Trace Jackson Davis, signed a very similar deal, 4-year deal with an option at the end. The number 58 pick, Chris Livingston with the Bucks, similar deal, multi-year contract. This is the same situation that Bronny James is in. I know there's people out there that are going to want to criticize the Lakers and LeBron and Bronny James and ignore the facts, but let's consider the facts. There's a high-risk, high-reward type of situation here. If Bronny James ends up hitting the way the Lakers expect him to, the way they hope he can, underneath J.J. Redick and their new player development program, then hey, it's a team-friendly deal, as they are a borderline second apron team, and they need to find things like that to be able to stay competitive in this window while you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And so you're not going to draft the kid unless you have a plan to have him on the actual roster. And now the work really begins. A couple days from now, we'll see him up in San Francisco, his first Summer League action against the Kings.
Yep, Summer League right around the corner. Dave McMenamin, thank you so very much. But we